Today we're going to talk about why I switched from the Canon EOS 50 Mark II to the Canon EOS R50 that was just released in 2023. In the last 2 years I've shot over 50,000 pictures with the Canon EOS 50 Mark II, as well as hundreds of hours of video. And I've been really pleased with it. It's been a great camera. I use my Canon EOS 50 Mark II in generally two ways. The first is to shoot mainly eBay pictures, because that's my day job, is buying and selling mainly camera equipment on eBay. And because of that, I try to get the best quality pictures that I can take. And having a camera that is able to naturally reproduce color accuracy and detail has been great, and that's why I've loved using this. I shoot in 1:1 format for eBay because that's the picture format that eBay uses. It allows users to blow up the image and actually see details on what they're getting. So this camera has enabled me to do that, and that's what I've really enjoyed about it. The second primary way that I use my Canon EOS M50 is actually shooting video for this channel. It has a mic jack on the side, just like the Canon EOS R50 does. And it's allowed me to add a pretty decent microphone and shoot good quality content, just using the kit lens, the kit 15-45 that's on this Canon EOS M50. However, in terms of video, one of the things that I've noticed in shooting with this is that although it does autofocus well and better than most other DSLR cameras at this price point, it has a hard time if I'm going from my face to picking up a camera and pushing it towards the camera to show the detail of the camera. So there's quite a bit of delay between the foreground and the background that I have a hard time dealing with and is unsatisfactory. I decided it was time to make a change this spring, and I put a pre-order in for the Canon EOS R50, which is this guy right here. They look very similar. I mean, if you were to look at the Canon EOS M50 or EOS M50 Mark II, which is this one, and then put it side by side by the EOS R50, which is this one, kind of hard to tell the difference. I mean, the lens is a little bit different, as you can see, but otherwise, the size and the weight are almost identical. So I've been using the Canon EOS R50 to shoot still images for eBay and just around the house and outdoors for the last week, as well as video content. Here are the three biggest reasons that I've found as to why I'm really enjoying the EOS R50 more than the M50. Number one is autofocus. Yeah, it's really that much better. It's kind of a game changer, really, when you compare this to other budget entry-level mirrorless cameras or DSLR cameras. The autofocus capability of the R50 is really, really awesome. You can select what you want it to track, and it will focus and track whatever you want. They also put in a lot of tech into this camera that recognizes people and animals' faces and eyes. And for me, perhaps the biggest thing is a specific mode that Canon designed for vlogging and video production that allows focus to be on you entirely, then for you to hold an object up, like I was talking about before, and have the camera very quickly refocus, and when you move the item out of the scene, it will quickly refocus back to you. Sounds cool, right? I even tested this against my Sony a6300 and Canon Rebel T7, and they weren't even close to as good. Another really neat auto mode functionality that's great for still shooting on the go is the Canon Advanced Auto A+ Assist, which composes a single image in camera stitched together similar to how an iPhone produces an image that has high contrast and pops right out of the gate. Number two is lens selection. One of the reasons why I decided to kind of give up on the EOS M50 Mark II is that Canon stopped production of any new lenses using the EFM mount. At the end of the life of the EFM series, there's only 8 Canon lenses for this camera, so really limiting. So I currently only have the kit lens, which is the 18-45 on here. That's what I've been shooting with for the last week, and I've been pretty satisfied with it. I mean, it's just a kit lens. I don't expect anything fancy. I'm looking at ordering another couple lenses just to increase the versatility of this camera. And the third reason is the 4K video improvements. The Canon EOS M52 does shoot 4K, but its max frame rate is 24 frames per second, and it's cropped so the angle of view narrows. Plus it loses its dual pixel CMOS in 4K. The EOS R50, however, captures full 4K and shoots 120 frames per second. This has greatly improved my video production, utilizing the improvements in 4K. Simply put, this camera has a lot of cool pre-edit video functionality that reduces the need for the average person to have to go in and edit using software. So those are the big three. There's some other differences between the R50 and the M50. The LCD screen resolution is about 30% better, so you're going to see more detail and contrast if you're utilizing it. The other main difference is that the battery life of the R50 is actually, you can get about 60 additional still image shots per battery compared to the M50. So what are the downsides that I found with the EOS R50 after shooting with it so far? Well, number one, just like the EOS M50, the SD card slot is inside the battery door, which may not sound like a big deal and may not be for you, but for me, when I shoot with tripods, and I shoot with tripods quite a bit, whenever I have the tripod mounted in here, it blocks access to the battery door and the SD card door. So if I'm in the middle of the shoot and I want to run and grab a different SD card, or if my battery dies, I have to take it off of the mount entirely to access this. Kind of a minor thing for most people, but kind of bothers me still. The second downside that I've seen to the EOS R50 is the price. Although it's still considered a budget entry-level camera, it's still $799 new right now, which is still fairly expensive. The EOS M50 is quite a bit less than that. The EOS M50 Mark II right now, used pricing that I've seen is right around $500 to $550 with a kit lens. I would anticipate that to drop a little bit further. So if you're talking about a $300 price differential between these two cameras, one in used good / very good condition versus a new camera, $300 is a pretty big difference. And if you're just getting started in photography, then the EOS M50 Mark II works great. Like I said, I've taken over 50,000 pictures with this camera, and I've been really satisfied with it. I'm just looking for a few extra things to upgrade to on the EOS R50, like we already talked about, just to make my experience a little bit more rewarding and beneficial for me and what I use it for. I hope that this video was helpful and that it illustrated some differences between the EOS R50 and the M50 line by Canon. I will try to create an entire video, maybe a beginner's guide of how to use the Canon EOS R50, because there's some really cool additional things that we don't have time to get into in this video, so look forward to an upcoming video about that.